What's going on, everybody? Ed0626 here, and I'm here to bring you guys a video that I never thought I would actually make. Now, really quick to preface the point of this video, I'm a long time ago, 2 years ago exactly, in 2017, I made a series, or I was making a series called Adventures in Votech, where I basically talk to you guys about my experiences in culinary vocational school. Now, for the most part, those stories were somewhat good, and there was times where I was upset with my position in the place, which eventually caused me to leave. But it is, and then the whole series kind of ended off in a sort of negative tone to it, given the fact like, hey, I didn't like what I was doing, I didn't enjoy it, so I decided to leave and pursue other things. I didn't have the passion, and I decided, you know what, and something recently made me decide to make one last Adventures in Votech video, where I pretty much, no pun intended to the title, bury the hatchet. So let me begin to tell you what made me do this. And basically at my radio station, there's a freshman girl there named Eliza. And one time we're at an event for the Bronx, my college station, and she was talking to me, and we're talking like, hey, I said, oh, I did vocational school and blah blah blah. She's like, really? Oh my God, where? And I said, oh, I did it in Mercer County Technical Schools, or whatever it was, at the SciPec Center. That was the name of the building. And she's like, oh my God, no way, I was there too. I was like, wait, what did you do? And she said, oh, I did culinary. I worked under Chef Angle and whatnot. I'm like, really? I was in shock. And I proceeded to tell her about pretty much all the stuff I talked to you guys about in the series, which of course you can go back and watch by clicking the little annotation above. So I said to her, like, look, if you ever go back and visit, go tell the guys over there that I'm doing alright. And I kind of meant it as like a snarky tone. It's like, hey, I didn't need you guys. I did my own thing in the industry I actually enjoy working in, and blah blah blah. And then she's like, oh, she told him, oh, he says hi, he's doing a good job where he is, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, you think I would be satisfied, right? And I was like, no, I'm not satisfied. I kind of want to be there in person to sort of shove it in their face. Now, of course, I'm thinking about this in terms of being a dick. Now, as I shouldn't have, but I was. So, I go to the school. Actually, no, I decide recently, actually, like 2 weeks ago, I was watching TV and I saw an advertisement for them. And I know I wasn't going to go alone. So I said to my friend Eliza, I said, hey, you want to come with me? I'm thinking of visiting the old SciPec Center and visiting the old stomping grounds and whatnot. And I'm like, and she's like, yeah, I'll go. So a couple days ago, let's say about, was it Wednesday of this week? Wednesday or Thursday this past week, we decide to, hey, we're going to go and visit we're going to go visit the culinary students and whatnot and see if we can actually get some free food. Now, we actually go, and much to my dismay, they made a lot of changes to the actual building and the actual program, so they're not really serving food more or less, they're not really serving food to the public of the school the way I thought they were doing. So I didn't really get to eat much that day. I was starving. But it was but I walk in and I'm like, I'm back, bitches, like that sort of thing. Like, no, I don't even think I said that, but I had like that attitude, like, I'm back, bitches. So, and I go and shake the chef's hands, like, hey, how's everything? He's like, hey, he's like shocked I'm there. He's like, his eyes are like, wow, you actually showed up, and you know what I mean? So, and I talked to him for a couple minutes before he has to take care of some other business. He was showing me some of the stuff they were doing. They had some like parties on campus that they were taking care of, and it was, it looked pretty cool. They were making crepes. I don't think I've ever seen a crepe in person, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie, as crazy as it sounds being a former culinary student, I don't think I ever saw a crepe in person. So I see these guys making crepes and how they're doing it. I'm like, wow, this takes more skill than anything I could have done. But, which is basically a dig at myself, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the best culinary student. I knew some things I was doing, but under pressure, no way. But those guys were doing pretty good, so shout out to them. But and then I don't know if you guys remember in the series, I spoke about a guy named Mr. R, who I absolutely despised. I thought he was one of the biggest pieces of shit of a human being I ever met in my life. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know, something about him just rubbed me the wrong way about him. And you know, I actually talked to him for like a solid half hour. We were just chatting it up, talking to him about what's going on at the school. I was talking to him about what I was planning to do. I was saying I was going to graduate in less than 2 weeks, which, by the way, that video comes up. It'll come up later this week. But I'm talking to him about what I'm doing in the future. You know, he was like, oh yeah, it's good to see you. It's nice to always have students come back. A couple of the people from my class have actually visited here and there. Some people have kept in contact. And I was like, oh wow, they actually kept in contact with this place. I'm actually surprised. So, as time goes on, me and my friend are there for pretty much the entire duration of the afternoon class. We're just sitting there chilling out, She had some friends that go there, so she was talking to them. I was more or less talking to the students and taking a look around the campus to see what's changed and what hasn't. And a lot has changed, which, you know, I actually think it's for the better for what they've done, but that's just my opinion. They've added a lot more like work prep stations. They've gotten a lot of new equipment that I'm actually very jealous of, because I'm pretty sure it would have came in handy when I was working there. But if you look back on it, it just means that it's more stuff for them to clean. So it's one thing I didn't have to worry about, was cleaning a lot more equipment. And I was talking to the students, and some of them, they were telling me like there's a lot of drama in that class, man. I thought my class had some drama, because everybody more or less wanted to fuck everybody else. Like all the guy, not me included, but like some of the guy members of the class wanted to fuck other members of the females in the class. So that's just funny looking back on it. But they were just straight up fighting each other. Like they would go in the bathroom, boys, girls, didn't matter. They all hopped in the one bathroom and just started fucking going at it. And it was like, what the fuck? They were telling me this. I'm like, holy shit. It's a good thing I don't go. It's a good thing I'm not part of this class. But for the most part, they seemed pretty chill with one another when I was there. So it gets to be the end of the class, right? And I'm waiting on the chef to, you know, talk to him, because I wanted to say some things to him. And he was in the middle of a meeting. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait for his meeting to be over. And when his meeting is eventually over, I go and talk to him. And I'm like, you know what? I told him, I said, Chef, I know things didn't work out here the way you and I had both hoped. And I kind of looked at this place in a sort of jaded way, in a very angry way. But in hindsight, I was just being immature and angry, and an angsty teenager is the term I used. And I matured a whole lot since then, don't get me wrong. So I look back on all this, and it's just like, you know, I guess while things weren't what I wanted them to be, it definitely taught me some experience that has come in handy in the future, like working with other people who have different backgrounds than you, which has helped at my radio station. And I thanked him for everything he'd done to me. I shook his hand, I gave him a hug. He said, look, man, it's good to have you back. It's always great to have students that come back, keep in touch and whatnot. And we had and it ended off really nice. Mr. R, I made amends with. I said, look, Mr. R, I'm not gonna lie, back in the day I used to hate you, but then I realized I was just being emotional and stupid, and you know what, it's good, and I thanked him for everything he did for me as well. So this entire episode of Adventures in Votech has concluded. I have finally buried the hatchet, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to actually say that, and it's good to not look back on that time with such anger like I did for pretty much the last 12 episodes of this series. This is truly the series finale of Adventures in Votech. Something happy to end off with. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.